I wished I knew how to make rice. What could I do about that?
Well, we have some rice right here, and let's learn how to make some. Rice is an inexpensive staple that you can keep in your pantry. It is a substitute for bread or mashed potatoes or anything like that. There are different types of rice. There's brown rice and white rice, and within the white rice there's a lot of different varieties. What I have here today is a basmati because I prefer that, but whatever you like is fine. Rice is generally cooked the same way. So let's get started. To make rice, you need a saucepan with a lid. You'll need a stovetop, and we're going to start with just a basic amount of rice. 1 cup of water and just a little bit of salt. The proportions are generally on the bag, so you don't have to worry about remembering that. And what we'll want to do is bring this to a boil before we add a 1/2 cup of white rice. Generally the proportions are 2 to 1, twice as much water to the amount of rice that you want to cook. So we're just going to wait for this to boil. So you can see that the water is boiling. All you do is put your rice in. I usually give it a little stir with a fork. I put the lid on, but just slightly open so the steam comes out, but you need to turn it down to low. And you have to figure out with your stove exactly where that is. You want it to simmer, just barely move the water, but not boil over. So eventually you'll get to know your stove and how that works. So while that's cooking, and it'll take about 15-20 minutes for basmati white rice, let's talk about what you can do with rice. Rice is a great substitute for potatoes. You can also scramble up an egg or do an egg over light and put over rice for a quick breakfast. You could open a can of beans and warm it up and put it over rice and then add some salsa or anything like that and dress it up for a quick supper. You could also just add some soy sauce, stir fry some vegetables, which all that means is to quick cook them in a frying pan with some meat. And when they're done, you put them over your rice and you add a little bit of soy sauce and you have a quick, healthy meal. Another thing you can do with rice, instead of the water that you saw me use, you could actually use chicken broth or beef broth if you have some left over, and that will give a little bit different taste. If you have leftover rice, you can also put it into a soup you're making to add a few more calories and make it a little bit fuller tasting meal if you're doing a soup on a nice cold rainy day. So our rice is done. As you can see, the liquid is all gone. You can check and make sure there's no liquid. Now you don't want it burned at the bottom, but you do want the liquid to be gone. The nice thing about rice is it's an inexpensive filler for your meal, and it tastes good, and you can dress it up a lot of ways. Food pantries carry it, and it will last a long time on your shelves. So enjoy using rice to provide a little bit of variety to your meals.